Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. We were saying we've been playing your Laurn Boebert stuff because if ever there was a story that was custom made for you.
Yeah, in my wheelhouse. Yeah. That's what I thought as soon as I saw it. I was like, oh, I got to do something with this. But I told you before we started, I made that pretty short. It was like Tuesday night when that happened to her, and I made that Wednesday morning, and all the details hadn't even come out yet. It was like even trashier than we knew because it's like, she's got her boobs out, giving hand jobs. I don't even know what I could say.
Yeah, you could say hand jobs.
Yeah, hand jobs. Yeah, just really, really trashing it up in there.
Oh,
and also, God. I guess that guy was guy's like a Democrat who owns a drag bar.
Yes. Yeah.
In Aspen.
Yeah. You're just like, I'm out. I can't write this.
Right. And I can't decide. That definitely makes it funnier. Like objectively, that makes it funnier. But as far as that guy goes, I kind of go back and forth on it. You know what I mean? I can't decide. I guess it depends on what his intentions were. Fully, you know what I mean? If it's like a sleeper agent type of thing, then I totally get it. If he was like actually looking for something real, I would have. Surely not. No one would do that. No one with a working brain would,
he was
would do
sleeping
that
with
Laurn
her
Boebert, right?
agent. But I think that was her latest. Like she was blaming him being a Democrat. She said from now on she would check party affiliations before I guess
dating.
she gives someone a handy J or let
That's like her saying.
Motorboat
that's
her.
like her admitting that like Democrats get her all horned up or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I just can't control myself.
I guess she's saying
woke pronoun lovers. And it's like, that's weird.
No more Democrats can motorboat her in public, I guess. Is the,
right. Exactly.
the new rule of decorum. I mean, it really was literally on the same day that Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted about that there's not enough decorum in the Senate or whatever because John Fetterman wears shorts. I don't know. At least he's not playing pocket pool, right? I mean, in the Senate, I don't...
Yeah. Also, like they try to pull each other's hair out on the floor of the House of Representatives or whatnot. Like, I mean, she's the last person who should be talking about decorum.
Yeah, she called Laurn Boebert a little bitch on the House floor and tried to pull her hair out. Yes. Wow. Yeah. When you did this piece, it was only about the vaping and hollering and not about the aforementioned, Handy J and the.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. Yeah. I don't. I'm not even sure like what else to say about it. We just played a Jerz Santos interview. Like they're just a complete clown show, the Republican Party at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe making Donald Trump their God Emperor led to those kinds of ramifications. I mean, it really did. I mean, that because he's got all these like Trump act. Everybody's got to like out crazy each other to make a splash on the right. And then this is what you get. And then all the any people that have any like semblance of sanity left get picked off one by one for they eventually say something that makes a little too much sense or whatever, then get called rhinos and get ran out of the party or whatever. Yeah. And they're all being held hostage by the crazy caucus. But, it's what they deserve. I mean, it's frightening for everybody else, all the rest of us. But, like, it's also kind of what they deserve.
Yeah. Now, I didn't save all the trailer trash Republican women for you, but Sarah Huckabee Sanders is in the news as well.
Okay.
Governor of Arkansas is pushing to overhaul the state's expansive public records law. And at the same time, a lawsuit is pending against the state for allegedly withholding information related to her travel requested under the Arkansas Freedom of Information Act. An analyst said, I think they realized this lawsuit was something they were going to lose, so they thought, well, we're going to try to change the rules now. So it's just now they're trying to cover up their corruption, right? Like I don't even know what kind of her, taxpayer-funded travel is it all? Because presumably it's not all in trailer. I don't know, right. But you know what I mean. It's just this has become the entire party is just corruption, covering it up, and like in Texas, right?
I was going to say, same kind of thing in Texas, but they do that type of thing. They'll like as soon as they have the opportunity to change the laws to like suit themselves better or to cover their own butts and whatnot. That's what they do. Or it's like in Wisconsin, they elected a Democrat governor, but before the Democrat got in, the Republicans in the state house like changed all the laws to neuter the powers of the office of the governor, like that type of thing. They just do it out in the open, like utterly shamelessly. And a lot of people in their base are for it. They tried the same thing in Ohio. They tried to make it to where, the like democracy meant less there. Like you needed more of a percentage to do anything. But the people, on their base, I see them talk. They like support all that because they're like, well, we have to have that because if we didn't have that, we'd have tyranny of the majority, right?
Yeah.
And that's what that's like
they don't
the phrase
believe,
they've come up with.
Yeah.
For
they don't believe in,
now.
they don't believe in democracy, Trae. That's
Yeah,
it.
right.
That's what we were saying. Speaking of Wisconsin, this liberal judge wins in a landslide, and they're like, no, we don't. We're just going to impeach
Yeah,
her.
right.
She hasn't even ruled on anything yet. I mean, it's
right. And it's like, or all the abortion votes and all this stuff. It's like so many things where it's clear where the will of the people stand. And then they're like, well, okay, but the people are stupid. So we're going to need some better laws
Right.
that, do the good Christian thing, regardless of what, the will of the people is.
Yeah.
And then others support that with a straight face and act like it's not anti-democratic. It's a weird time to be alive.
You got to tell us about your new book that comes out today because we've been playing like Good Liars. We just had Jason Selvig on, and these people interview the MAGAs outside the MAGA rallies, and it makes you just want to. I don't know when you see the level of stupidity and delusion we're up against, but you have to hope that is a small percentage. But your book is Round Here and Over Yonder, a front porch travel guide by two progressive hillbillies. Yes, that's a thing. But
Yeah.
so because you do travel, obviously, you're from the South, you're from MAGA heavy areas. You and your friend Corey, who we love, Corey Ryan Forrester, in this hilarious and irreverent travel guide, as they wander and ponder in the peculiarities beyond their small town front porches. Trae and Corey will take you from the smallest of small towns to major U.S. metropolises, or is it metropoli? We haven't a farting clue. So tell us about the idea for this book and what you did.
Well, I mean, we're comedians. We do stand up. So as a comic, I mean, you travel around the country all the time. I mean, I'm leaving tomorrow morning to go to every city in Ohio over the course of the next 5 days, and I've been doing that for like the past 7 years. So, and everybody says, write what you know, but I guess sort of like the conceit of it is like small town hillbilly types like me and Corey, like we're not known for being globetrotters, or being overly worldly people. I don't know if y'all are aware of that, but that's kind of what people think. And so it's like, what happens when two people like that actually do get out and travel around? Because it's like we also think that's there's a Mark Twain quote, or everything's a Mark Twain quote, but it's something about travel is the death of ignorance, or something like that.
Right.
Right, and it's funny because I'm like having trouble recalling it, and I literally think it's like in the book, like in the beginning of the book. It's like like part of the whole book is based on that premise, and I'm like, what did he say? But anyway, so that's kind of and so it's like, our perspective on going around this country and like, what people in the South think of these other places. Like we got a section on the Pacific Northwest or LA or whatever versus what the reality is as far as we can tell. And then there's a whole section on the South that kind of works in reverse, but it's trying to like, analyze and deconstruct stereotypes in a funny way, and hopefully also find like the common ground, like bringing the things that unite us. And then the last part of the book is we both went to England and Scotland for the first time in our lives. So it's like, Americans over there, how did that go? What's their perception of us? Yada, yada, that whole thing.
But well, as you said,
it's a very funny forward book, if I do say so myself. Like it's, I think it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
So I hope people check it
well,
out.
as you said, you crossed the pond to sip tea in some of the fancy kings and castles places that PBS viewers like you can't stop yapping about.
Yeah.
The book will also cover loads of eccentric things that folks say. What sort of eccentric things did you encounter that folks say?
That is a good question. I'm sure there's plenty in there. I mean, I guess like in Portland, there's a whole thing about the idea, like people somehow think that Portland is like both just like hipster utopia Portlandia stuff, but it's also like Fallujah for socialists, like it's this like war-torn socialist playground and whatnot, and it's like that's a weird dichotomy of things to believe about the same place. It's like it's weird to be terrified of baristas, but like so many people are when it comes to Portland, that kind of thing.
They are terrifying. So you just mentioned common ground. I mean, obviously, as you say, you're a comedian, Trae, but Is there common ground we're ever going to find, or the things that we see MAGA people saying all the time that are just completely delusional? Are we ever going to have a common set of facts? I mean, I feel like one of the things that's so great about you is, you have this accent, but the things coming out of your mouth are such a disconnect. You know what I mean? They're all the things that what they call coastal elites say. But in the meantime, you've got a party where, they're all coastal elites, the Republicans.
Right.
And somehow they've sold this bill of goods, right?
Well, that's kind of related to what I was about to say in response to that, to the first question. Like, I feel like there should be a lot of common ground in, like, the lives of regular people and how they're harder, and the dollar doesn't go as far. Like, we're all getting screwed over by rich people, and corporations and that type of thing, which you would think would lead to some commonalities, but they just blame all the wrong people for that, you know, and then vote in people who, are in the pockets of those same corporations, the people to whom the Koch brothers are their puppet masters and whatnot. And so, there's some kind of disconnect there, and it's frustrating.
Were you surprised? I'm forgetting his name now. The guy, Richmond, north of Richmond, singer.
Yeah, Oliver Anthony.
I wasn't surprised. Were you, when he came out and said, "What?"
No.
I was talking about the Republicans on stage. This, don't use my anthem. It's like some right-wing anthem. Because when I read it, Trae, just when I read the lyrics, I was like, this is about the working guy. Since when have Republicans done anything for the work? When he talks about working long hours for bulk pay, and the Richmond, north of Richmond, you're paying the same taxes they are. I'm like, this could just as easily be called a Democratic anthem.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, really, it was really just that one line about, welfare and fudge rounds or whatever, which is like, but I know, because of where I'm from and everything, like, I know there are a lot of people who have that kind of perception when it comes to, welfare and food stamps and stuff. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're, hardcore conservatives. So I wasn't surprised either. I mean, he couldn't be more explicitly clear that he's talking about, them and their ilk in the song, and then they just play it with no trace of irony on the debate stage and whatnot. But that's, that's what they do. That whole song and his whole thing was like how most of the people in my hometown used to be pre-Trump, which was that, like, screw them all, they're all full of crap, and none of them care about us anyway, type of thing, like on both sides, which seems to be more his thing. But
it seemed to me like a working man's anthem, and I'm like, since when have Republicans done anything for the working man? They're anti-worker, anti-union. They,
there's a long tradition of those types of things in, like, country music, like with Johnny Paycheck and that type of stuff, going back to, like, coal miner strikes and whatnot, and working man anthems, union things, and they were never never Republican anthem.
Quick fact check: the vast majority of people on welfare are white. Okay,
right. But the thing is, and I mean, I like, he didn't. I think he meant white people, and I think he's talking about other, like the lazy white people on food stamps that he grew up around and whatnot, and blaming them. There's a lot of, like, working class people who, like, who are barely making it day to day in these places, who don't have any kind of government assistance, and they have a problem with the people around them who do, because they think it's unfair. And it's all like, instead of thinking like we should all be doing better, everybody, you know what I mean? Like, you're also getting screwed. Everybody's getting screwed. Things should be better for everybody. Instead of thinking that way, it's easier for them to get mad at the person in their community that they see who's, on food stamps and doesn't have a job, even though they don't know that guy's that story or whatever. Yeah. But it's a, it's a thing.
The book is Round Here and Over Yonder, a front porch travel guide by two progressive hillbillies. And the dude is Trae Crowder, the lipper redneck. Go see him. He's going to Ohio next. Go see him. Follow him. Trae, let's not make it so long next time.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Please, anytime. I'm always thrilled to be here.
Listen, we'll send you your jingle.
TraeCrowder.com, if I didn't say that, for both the book and the tour.
Yep, and we've linked to it on all the spaces.
There you go. And you have a new ringtone for your phone. We'll send you your jingle. There you go.
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
Appreciate it.
I love you, Trae.
Thanks, guys.
See you next
Trae.
time. Oh, hi. I'm here with sexy liberal John Fugelsang wearing my Los Angeles sexy liberal shirt. Oh, my God. We have an LA show coming up October 21st. But how else could you see it, John?
How else
else could you see it? I'm so glad you asked. For a limited time, you can see the show live via pay-per-view if you go to sexyliberal.com. All the laughs, you'll miss nothing.
I can stream it from all around the world?
All around the world, in your car, while you're driving. Watch it at home.
Sexyliberal.com, yeah.